One of the more interesting cliffhangers of the 1.0 Zenless Zone story is related to the third member of Phaethon. No, it's not Eos, but rather the mysterious but highly capable AI referred to as Fairy. We don't know much about it, but having seen its capabilities firsthand, Fairy has undoubtedly enabled Phaethon to become a godlike proxy. It has allowed the Phaethon siblings to essentially travel in and out of hollows without any issues, develop carrot maps on the fly, analyze changes in real time, and even defend their HDD system from hackers. Despite how useful Fairy is, we don't really know its origins or true purpose. In fact, we don't know anything about the other AIs as well. Are they just tools to be used, or do they have a greater purpose? That's what we'll be discussing in this video. The near-omniscient AI referred to as Keys. Before we discuss that further, if you want to see more Zenless Zone Zero content, do consider subscribing to the channel. As you might have guessed, a video talking about the AI entities mentioned in-game might be a bit spoilery in nature, but in truth, because we don't know much about them, there isn't a significant impact on the direction of the current 1.0 story. Nevertheless, I thought to still mention it just in case you are trying to avoid spoilers at all costs. We first hear or meet Fairy during the events of the game, but chronologically, Fairy and the other AIs were actually mentioned and even utilized before the events of the main story. In the Zenless trailer, where the miracle began, all 4 AI were shown to be active and were used by an unknown group of people to hack into a highly secure and hidden database referred to as the Internode Deep Database. Once their goal was completed, each of the 4 AI were seemingly uploaded into the Internode and lay dormant waiting for someone to awaken them. The unknown person then mentions that once all 4 have been reawakened, that's when they will make their move. Something that involves a new Eridu, but more on that later. An undetermined amount of time passes and we end up encountering the first AI of the group, Fairy, during the events of the main story. Through some unknown sequence of events, Fairy ended up in a data chip and locked away in a strongbox owned by the Institute, though it's never revealed who or what the Institute is. The Cunning Hares were hired to retrieve the lockbox after it was stolen by the Red Fang gang. I won't go into details here, you can watch my recap video if you want to know the full story, but essentially, the main character ends up finding out the lockbox contains a data chip that would allow anyone to enter and leave hollows. What the main character didn't know was that the data chip actually contained Fairy, and when they accessed it, they awakened Fairy in the process. Fairy then enters into an agreement with the main character, mentioning something about arriving in the future, and with their help, the Cunning Hares were able to escape the hollow. As the main character enters into their end-user license agreement-induced coma, we hear 2 individuals speaking about the activation of the AI keys, specifically Fairy. These are likely the same 2 people that we see in the trailer I mentioned earlier, and the agreement and arrival Fairy brought up is likely related to the plans for new Eridu these 2 mysterious individuals have. Before we talk about this event further, let's talk about these 4 AIs first. Even though we haven't actually met them, the trailer and their designations might actually hint at what each AI is capable of, or rather what they were designed to do, and this might in turn hint at their true purpose. Each AI is named after some mythological or supernatural creature that originates from folklore, and the 4 that we know are Ghost, Youkai, Jinni, and Fairy. Let's start off first with Ghost. I'm sure most of you know what a ghost is. They are supernatural entities often considered to be the soul or spirit of a deceased person that have returned to the world of the living. Ghosts are often incorporeal and intangible, able to pass through solid objects like walls and doors. This is an apt name given in the trailer, Ghost was used to hack and gain access into the hidden deep database. This ability to hack anything, or rather access it, might be a reference to how a ghost is able to go through any object, and in this case, it's like it phased through the defensive walls of the database, gaining access to it. The unknown woman in the trailer even expressed the difficulty in accessing the database and mentioned they had to use Ghost to achieve it, implying that this particular AI might be adept at accessing the impossible. As such, my guess is that each AI has a unique ability or specialty, and Ghost is an AI meant for hacking. That said, it doesn't necessarily mean it can't do anything else, as we have seen Fairy hack into systems as well. It's just that perhaps hacking is Ghost's specialty. Initially, I kinda suspected that the hacker who accessed Phaethon's system was someone in possession of Ghost, but given they were not mentioned to be activated at the time, that seems rather unlikely. Perhaps Rain would be someone who ends up activating this AI, given we know her to be an exceptional hacker. But again, that's just an assumption. Based on what we've seen, Ghost does seem to be the hacking AI out of the 4 AI we currently know of. The next AI on the list is Youkai. The Youkai are a group of supernatural entities and beings that are part of Japanese folklore. Yokai aren't really a singular entity, but rather a catch-all term for supernatural beings and are often used to explain unexplainable phenomena. I'm not an expert on Japanese mythology, so this explanation may not be the most accurate. Anyway, some yokai can be malevolent and deceitful, but not all of them mean harm. Some examples are the Oni, Kitsune, Tengu, and Tanuki. I'm not exactly sure of the connection between its name and its function, but in the trailer, we actually see yokai being used to corrupt the database firewall. This might be the special function of this particular AI. Perhaps Ghost was used to access the location of the database, and yokai functioned as a virus that stripped away the firewall protecting it. The term corrupting was also used in the trailer, so I'm more inclined to believe that yokai might be a self-aware virus or perhaps an AI that can create viruses to suit its needs. Among the AIs, this particular one might be the attack dog of the group, able to infect and damage networks through generating viruses, but this is just my guess. The third AI mentioned is Jinni. The name Genie is likely derived from the mythological creature of pre-Islamic Arabia, the jinn. While the term did inspire the genie we see in popular media that grants wishes to their masters, the jinn in mythology were not capable of such abilities, but rather can utilize different supernatural ones like controlling the weather. Of the 4 AIs, Genie is the one we know the least about, as during the events of the trailer, it was only tasked with uploading data. Perhaps its specialty has something to do with data management or something, but just uploading information isn't a lot to go on. If I had to guess, however, given most jinn are said to be born of smoke and fire, and visually there's a lot of smoke and clouds in their imagery, maybe its ability is to mask and hide the information it uploads from unwanted eyes. Fairy is able to do this as well, given the unknown people couldn't track Fairy's location despite knowing they were activated, as they claim it was designed to do that, but perhaps Jinni is just much better at it. Beyond that, however, I'm not entirely sure what Jinni's abilities could be, so let's move on to the last AI key, Fairy. Fairy is currently the only activated AI as far as the main story is concerned. It describes itself as a Type 3 general-purpose AI equipped with total sequential integration, which in simpler terms makes her an extremely capable AI. As far as I can tell, Fairy doesn't seem to have any specialized abilities. We have seen it hack into systems like Ghost can, hide information or data like Genie can, and it's very likely that it can corrupt systems as well like Youkai if it wanted to. On top of that, we have seen Fairy do a myriad of other things, like collect information on a city-wide scale, carry out data analytics, and even function as a carrot, mapping out a holo in real time. As such, I have this feeling that Fairy's specialty lies in the coordination of the other AI tools. Individually, these other AIs are better at Fairy in their specific areas of expertise, but Fairy is likely the coordinator of the bunch, assigning resources and tasks efficiently to ensure the best chances of achieving a particular goal. That said, Fairy has mentioned that collecting and analyzing data is their core function, so perhaps that is indeed their forte. I can't really think of any other thing that Fairy might be specialized for, even when considering its name, as fairies in folklore are supernatural beings, but not known for only one thing other than being mischievous. Now, if what we have discussed up till this point is accurate, and each of these AIs have these specific abilities, what exactly are they for? I mean, they must have been created with a specific goal in mind, right? What is the plan the unknown person refers to in the trailer, and what exactly will arrive in the future as mentioned by Fairy? This is the part of the video where we get a bit speculative and theoretical, so you have been warned as this might get a little silly. My first guess is that perhaps, together, all 4 AI would allow an individual to take control of the city, specifically New Eridu. Each one of them, if wielded by an expert, can easily access or take down the systems that run New Eridu itself. They can travel anywhere they want without limits, infect or shut down key infrastructure, and access any hidden information, allowing them to ultimately unearth the truth that the government has hidden from the public. I mean, the opening parts of the Where the Miracle Began trailers even implies the things we know aren't the whole truth, saying the knowledge of hollows, ethereals, and ether provided to the public are outdated and that the government actively hides the truth. Perhaps with these four AI at one's disposal, an individual can functionally take control of the city itself. Though why their creator hasn't done this is beyond me. An alternative idea is that the AIs might be related to the mission the Phaethon siblings have, given the trailer did mention Phaethon and the main character is currently in possession of Fairy. Maybe the siblings are trying to unearth the truth about New Eridu and require the AIs to do so, but I'm working on another video that talks about that, so I won't expand on it here. I just wanted to mention it as it is still one possibility. In general, I can only guess that there are two possible outcomes of how the story with the AIs might develop. Either all of them eventually end up in the hands of the main character, making them basically a god, or they each become subservient to four different people, one of which being the main character. Maybe Rain the hacker gets Ghost, the main character gets Fairy, and the other two end up with people we meet later. Either way, the AI do seem to have been purposefully left hidden on the internet, waiting for others to find them, and perhaps once all are activated, the city of New Eridu will be turned on its head. I suspect that this has largely something to do with how New Eridu was first formed and what the true purpose of the Hollows are, both of which are things the government has kept hidden from the public. Maybe the current government has been lying about them and through the use of these AIs, the truth will be released. Now obviously, most of this speculation is gathered from a singular trailer, the main story, and a lot of educated guesses. It's not in any way definitive proof that the story might progress in this way. Maybe the AI keys are something else entirely, or maybe there are more than just four of them. So take what I've shared here with a grain of salt, as we'll only learn of their true purpose once more of the story progresses. Until then, we can only guess and theorize. What do you think is the main purpose of these AI? Are they just tools or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found the video entertaining, do consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and as usual, have a nice day.